Good morning, everybody. Let's see. Let's turn some volumes down. Let's do some switching going on here. How's everybody doing this fine Saturday morning? Yeah. Morning, TBD. How's it doing? How are you doing this morning? I'm a little bit. My throat is a little scratchy this morning. It feels a little weird. Okay, let's see. So I think I'm mentally prepared to do some heavy work today. Actually, it's not gonna be that heavy. Nice. That's good. Getting up, getting the dogs walked. That's pretty good. That's better than I'm doing this morning. I was struggling just to get out of bed this morning. It has definitely been a struggle, that's for sure. Yeah, 4080. So let's see where. Oh, I'm just not here. Holy cow. There we go. All right, so I was playing around. Actually, last night I stayed up way too late last night. I think it was 11:30 before I went to bed. 11:30. I had a small epiphany about my app and how it's going to run, because I was thinking about it. This is for my automation stuff, and I realized I already have a virtual machine that I'm going to put all of this on so I can connect to it remotely. And I thought, well, if it's all on the same machine, I can do whatever I want. It's a what's the word? It's a VPS, virtual private server, so I've got full access to it. So I was like, why am I overcomplicating it by trying to throw the Amazon service into it? Originally, when I thought I was going to end up running some of it locally on my network, but it turns out that's not what I'm going to do at all. So I thought, well, let's change that up then a little bit, and let's just plan on running it all in the same instance, I guess. So I decided I still want to have some kind of messaging broker in between there, so I can not be dependent on the web application to do all the automation side of it. So I'm gonna use RabbitMQ just because it's what I'm familiar with, I believe. And so I was working on getting that set up today or this morning in Docker. Except that I'm trying to get my command written and I'm struggling, so it's gonna take me a moment here. 15672. There we go. Hopefully this will just load up this time. Oh, 8080, that's what I set it to. Am I here too soon? I got that right. 15672. No. Yeah, it's not giving me anything useful. Why not? Alright, well, let's not remap that port. I don't like doing that anyway. Even then, I don't need to have it running, I guess, this morning to get started, but I would like to have it. There it goes. And what did I set the password to? Something stupid. Nope. Not that one. Oh, it's user. Note user. No, I did type the password. Well, I didn't type the password right. Love it when I do that. Like, I did that right. Come on. All right, so that's running. Cool. Let's see. Where am I going to start this morning? Oh, man. I have not had coffee yet, and it shows. I mean, I've got a little bit of dredge from yesterday's coffee. That's about it. I'm gonna work in the sample projects to start with, I think. Because I shouldn't say I'm going to deviate from the right way. I'm going to deviate from the way I normally do it, which is the wrong way. And I'm going to try to write it using try to make it testable code and do like more, maybe try to get like more test first. Test first coding, test first idea is kind of what I'm hoping to do. I gotta close some stuff. I got something else that's playing music or playing background sound that's driving me nuts, and I gotta find it. Oh, there it is. Nailed it. Ah, yes. I hate it when that happens. I feel like I'm going crazy when I can catch just a little bit of sound from something I have pretty much completely muted, and it just catch a little bit every now and then. All right, so let's think about this. So I'm just gonna remove this. Because it's being used. Who's using it? That's probably me. I got all kinds of stuff going on here that's a little crazy. Okay. So where am I gonna? Maybe I won't start the sample. I'll put it in the project because I want to get the testing stuff put in. So. Man, how many layers is it in? Okay. Okay, there's the solution. I'm gonna have to go get some fresh coffee here pretty soon. All right, let's start by minimizing all of these things. So at the core of what I need to do, I'm going to have a web application that's going to have the ability to trigger automations. That trigger is going to go through the messaging queue to whatever's doing the automation. In this case, I have a Python script that does it. So I need to be able to do that message broker. So I think that's my interface I'm going to start with, and I'm going to start there. I'm going to build that structure around it. And then I can build I can set up my test project. I can test those interfaces with this, or I can test the steps using that interface because I can mock it up then. And let's see, I don't remember what I have for classes. So I have parameters, I have an action. Then I have the payload. Okay, so I can very easily generate some simple tests for that one, because that one will make sure the message is always in the same format. And then, yeah, so I'll create the interface for the message send, do I have this? I do have a DB context already. That's using identity. That's right. I'm doing identity stuff. Then I've got a few of the pages. All right, so I'm trying to decide now. I think I'm just gonna keep it all in this project. I was gonna create a separate project, but for like the interfaces, I'm not gonna do that for now, simply because it's small. I don't want to overcomplicate it. I tend to overcomplicate things, so I'll just create a folder. New. Yeah, right. I know it's hard. I get into this mindset of like the projects that I do at work, and it's like, I know I'm going to need to do this in this way because I know that this project is going to be this big or this complicated, or I'm going to have to end up using this code all over the place. So I tend to be like, put it in a library. I'm like, oh, I'm going to create a library for one class, one interface file, and one for one class file. It's like, well, that seems like unnecessary. So we'll try to keep it simple. It's not hard to move it to another project when I need to, but I still do it, and I still don't do it, right? I feel like it's a lot of work, and I'm like, I can't do that. It's a lot of work, but it's really not. All right, we're gonna add a new item. I don't know why I just clicked show all templates. Just because I wanted to have that eye already there. I don't know. What do I want to call this? What do I want to call it? I don't even know. Well, this is going to be the interface for sending and receiving messages. So this is going to be message processor. You feel that when that's what's important to you, you recognize when you need to break it out. Yeah, you do need to realize when you need to break it out into a new project. Yeah, oh yeah, fix that later. Oh, absolutely. I have created some of those, and part of that is because, at least where I work, a lot of we don't have like the infrastructure, and even some stuff today, like we don't have the infrastructure to properly decouple applications very easily. I have put in like RabbitMQ to do stuff, but some of the code base that I work with is so, I don't want to say it's poorly written, because it's not. It is well written, but it is so tightly coupled that it doesn't lend itself to using different technologies to make it easier code, I guess is the way to look at it. Because a lot of the code base I work on went from what is it, classic ASP web pages with scripts, ASP scripts that were embedded in the HTML, because that was the norm when they first started, and then things just kind of evolved and say, oh, we're going to start making them .NET projects. And what they would do is they actually just copied a lot of that code in. I mean, I still have .NET projects that are using record sets and while loops to loop through it, and it's all inside the front end code. And a lot of it's like, we just don't mess with it. It's a simple report, it just runs. But then when we did the cut over to what's the browser, the Chrome based Edge, when we switched over to Edge that was Chrome based, we had a lot of that stuff that stopped working because VB script in the web or in the browser doesn't work anymore. And so we had a lot of that kind of code, and it's the same thing with some of our .NET code. Some of it still looks like the ASP code, like the way they did it, and it's not written, how do you want to say it? It's not written in a object oriented method. It's still very script based. It's just the format has changed a little bit, where now not all the code is on the ASPX page. There's a VB and a CS page that still build the page in the same way. Like pulling out a data set and then building a massive table string in a loop and then just writing it out to the page. And so some of that is really hard to like, hey, I want to change, you know, something simple in that. It's like, oh, well, that's not a simple ask, you know? And, you know, up until very recently, it's been a team of one of me essentially that's doing that kind of development, trying to migrate them to something more modern, I guess. And it's a lot of work because one, I have to understand what it's doing, which on a lot of these things is hard to define because you know, the people who wrote it aren't here anymore, and, you know, the documentation is poor. So yeah, it is important to recognize when it needs to be broken out, but yeah, I agree. There are so many monolithic apps that are just like, oh, we'll fix that when we have time. And right, it is, right? It absolutely is. And, you know, and I've got a new person that we're kind of training up, and he's fresh out of college, but he's fresh out of college, but he's not like he's got a comp sci degree, but he doesn't have a real strong programming background, I guess is the easiest way to say it. I went to the university, and it's like I had a lot of programming, so we had lots of like data structures, algorithms, and some of that stuff. And he's doing the same thing. He's like, oh, well, I'm just gonna throw us all here like this, and it's just gonna work. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not maintainable. Like, it's hard to maintain. And it is that like, oh, we can fix it later. Be like, no, we can't. We have to fix it now. He's like, well, but I understand it. I'm like, yeah, you know, you understand it now, but give it 6 months and you're not going to remember. And now it's like, now you're spending more time to fix it than you would have before. And yeah, it is very hard. And I'm in the process. I have actually a pretty significant project coming up very quickly, where we're going to be migrating a lot of our legacy code that runs on Oracle, and we're going to migrate it to SQL Server because we are going to decommission Oracle, and we're getting rid of Oracle from our environments because Oracle is insanely expensive, and we are not a large company. And that's my target, is I'm going to do all this I'll fix it later stuff in that project. Like some of them are still simple ASP reports where we just query a couple tables based on some date ranges and a few things. Like, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that. I'm just gonna reconnect them. But we have some other apps that are more monolithic and have this very old code smell, and I'm gonna try to standardize a lot of that and fix them, because I'm gonna spend a lot of time rewriting a bunch of code. So I'm like, well, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it in such a way that's repeatable, and hopefully doing it a couple of times will allow me to build up the right frameworks and the right styles that I can, after the first couple, I can start very rapidly pushing through them. At least I hope. That's a refueling outage job for me, and I'm gonna be busy. I figured if I'm gonna have to work 60-hour weeks, I might as well use it grinding through some code changes. So I have been queuing up podcasts and long playlists so I can work on them during my shift, just have on some background noise and just start clicking away. At least I hope. Okay. And I do intend to do a lot more stuff with like the messaging queue. I have a pretty sophisticated interface with RabbitMQ going on a couple of apps, doing things like removing code that we use everywhere to do it in one place, like a common logging environment. Because some of our apps are somewhat complicated, and we've got some pretty, I don't want to say they're sophisticated logs, but we get some detailed logs to help us track things down. And I've migrated all that to run through a messaging queue, and I already have the interfaces built for it and kind of a generic framework, and it works really well. So I'm hoping that I can update that right before I start that project to make it a little more, I don't want to say generic because it already is pretty generic. Generically specialized, I guess, is the right way to think about it. I'm going to modify it so that I know that it's going to work for everything, because it was originally built for 2 specific apps, and they have some specific content that I need to not make it specific and make it more generalized, I guess is kind of the right way to look at it. That'd be a project that would be fun to stream if I could convince my job to let me do it. I am working on, I have a project which is like a whole framework that I've built for integrating some of our legacy applications to work with our more modern systems, such as we've just upgraded our SAP environments, and it's a lot of cloud-based stuff. We went from being a company that was like, oh dear God, no, not cloud, to a company that is like, can we do it in the cloud? But with lots of rules and restrictions around it. And we have a lot of these legacy apps that we move data back and forth, and they just don't work. And some of them are systems that aren't even meant to use like web technology that we're moving data back and forth. And so I kind of built a standard, I don't even want to call it a framework, it's a standard set of templates to use to move that data. And I need to refine it a little bit and finish some documentation. And I'm working on trying to convince actually our CIO to let me do it on stream, which I'm hoping gets done. I've been kind of greasing those wheels. And it's all .NET. It's all modularized .NET code. It's about like 4 or 5 different projects that encompass some of the details of kind of using it as a stopgap for modernizing an app when you can't. That was kind of the intent, is we have a couple of apps that I just tackling it is going to be a nightmare. And I thought, well, if I put this framework in place and this is how I can communicate outside the world. And people were, yeah, right. Yeah, right. It does work, and you can see the behind the curtains. It might put people off. Yeah, that's true. Hey, we're using PHP 5.6. Yeah, I think for us, it's not so much gonna be like what we're like the content. It's not proprietary and anything like that. They have a problem with it. Well, it's a cybersecurity concern with really just which computer am I writing the code on and what am I doing with it? Because I would not be using my work computer to stream it, so I'd be using my personal environment simply because I have the setup, and that means I'd have to figure out how to get that code to me and back safely, even though all the code's in GitHub. Our security people don't want to have this perception, I guess, is really what it comes down to, of what do I want to say? I'm moving things from a personal machine back to a work machine and back and forth. I think they'd rather me do it all on my work machine, which I would not want to do. Just because I don't want to put all of that stuff, because they wouldn't allow me to have half the software that I use to stream on my laptop, my work laptop. But none of my stuff is public facing, so there is a little security risk, but not much. Actually, I think if anything, our technical team would see it as a PR thing to see, hey, here's what we do, because we're terrible at that. But I guess it is what it is. If I can't do it, that's fine. It just means that project isn't going to get done as soon as I'd like it to be. Simply because it's an internal project. Right, and that's exactly it. It's like I don't want work stuff popping up, and and I can turn off email and Teams and all that stuff, but sometimes like we have utilities that send those toast notifications. None of it is necessarily a big deal, but I don't want to have like pictures of coworkers pop up because they made that the toast message. Like I don't want to see our CEO pop up, right? Like that. I mean, that's already a little creepy when I see that anyway, because most of the time our media people pick the weirdest photos to use for that kind of stuff. Like we've got one for like someone who's hiring, and it's an engineer, and I think I know who it is, but his picture, it looks like his eyes are like demon eyes. I wonder if I can find it. I mean, it's just the creepiest picture. And every time I see it pop up on all the social medias that I'm like, oh man, did they have to pick that picture of all pictures? I mean, I just get creeped out, and I'm like, and you guys approved this. Oh yeah, when you first started, there were some people streaming their actual work. Yeah. Yeah, there's that whole like co-working thing too, right? Where it's like I'm streaming on my personal device, but I'm working on my work one. It's like some of those are pretty interesting. There's some of them that are like, it's literally just a camera just looking at me while I'm staring at my screen, but you can't see it, right? And it's like, well, that's a little different. Let's see. Oh, no, I don't want the Nebraska National Guard. That would be weird. Let's see if I can find his face, because... okay, I think they've changed it. It used to be... Oh, I'll take a screen snap of it real quick. It was these eyes. Let's see if I can get just the eyes. Yeah, the co-working... I know some people that do it, and I've watched. It hasn't been too weird of a thing. I mean, it kind of is, I guess. Some of it is, some of it isn't. Yeah, it's these eyes. Oh, I can't zoom in. It used to be these eyes were like, I think they photoshopped them, and they were very white, so it looked like his eyes were like shooting out at the camera at you, and I'm like, oh geez. I wonder if he complained, because it was creepy. But yeah, that whole co-working thing, I don't know. I think if I did like the co-working thing and I was doing like a regular day's work while being streamed, I'd probably get banned. Because I tend to have some pretty what I want to say, obnoxious outbursts on some of the things that happen, specifically work related stuff. Like I get an email or a Teams message from somebody, and it's like the when I'm by myself and I'm not on a call and I'm not on something like that, I tend to just be like, what the, and I just start kind of going off on the request, and it's like, I'd have to make it definitely for 18 and over, right? Because it would definitely go there. And you know, and honestly, some of the stuff that I do like on a day-to-day basis, not very exciting. I mean, I'll spend 2 hours just trying to get through my email some days, which feels like an eternity when I have to go through that many email. Right, and I'm the same way. It's like I have a couple of coworkers that do just get under my skin super hard, and one of them is constantly asking me for things that I'm like, this is your job, don't ask me. And you know, and I'm always kind of pushing back on it, but it's like when it's like the third request of the day and I'm like, you're the network administrator, not me. You do your job. Don't come to me for your problems. I do kind of have those outbursts, and I'm just like, you need to do your job. Don't pawn your job off to other people. And then sometimes, you know, I just kind of get into this, like, when I'm in research mode, probably the least exciting part ever, right? I'll just be sitting there staring at a screen, just like reading, and it'd be just silence for like an hour, because when I'm really involved in like trying to read something, there is nothing else happening. I am laser focused on that little piece of whatever it is I'm reading. And yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty torn. Let's see, Rabbit MQ. Nougat. That's what I want. I need to look at the docs for the current versions of 681. I feel like I'm not using this version at work. I feel like I'm using 6 something, but not 681. All right, let's go find their website. Yeah, so I got the username, password, the virtual host. I feel like I'm using an old enough version that they simplified the interface, and I haven't made that switch yet. Simply because that would require me to refactor my interface on it a little bit. Ooh. Getting the dredges. I'm gonna have to go swap out. I don't care about a list of endpoints. Yeah, I think my mind is something with exchanges, but retrieving a message by subscription. Nah, I just need basic read write. I don't need anything super complicated for this. So that's async consumer publishing messages. Did I just completely drive past it? I did. Excuse me, man. I am super phlegmy today. I just spent a lot of time outside last night. We had an outdoor concert, which was surprisingly a lot of fun. But now I've got that, somebody was mowing, so now I'm congested this morning. Specify the mandatory flag. All right, so yeah, so this is going to be pretty simple. So that's basic publish, which is synchronous. I mean, I guess that's fine. I don't care if it's synchronous or not. Yeah, I did a sparring class. Ooh, hot room. Yeah. Nice. That sounds awesome. Not the sparring in the hot room. That sounds terrible. I'd rather it be a little bit cooler. Yeah, down here was too bad. It was hot most of the day. But then we went to the little concert. We managed to get into a little shade. The sun was still up because actually they were done before the sun went down, since, you know, it doesn't set until like 9 o'clock. But we had a pretty good breeze the whole night, and so it was pretty nice. It was kind of a weird show because it's a local band, and I knew it was a local band, but I didn't realize, like, the main singer of the band, she grew up and went to high school like 20 miles from town, in the town 20 miles away. And so also was like, it was also like a big class reunion for that school, so she knew about half the people there. So it was a little weird because she like came down and she was talking to all these people and, you know, interacting with them while she was singing, and it's like, and I'm like, I don't know who you are. I didn't go to your school. Like, please don't come talk to me, please. But it was good. Yeah, it was good way to wind down. And I guess they do this every week during the summer in town. I didn't realize it was every week. But it was a good time. I mean, sitting in the pool would be kind of fun too, to kind of end the day, but we don't have a pool, so, and I don't want one, mostly because I don't want to deal with my kids in a pool. Okay, yeah, so the channel. All right, so yeah, it's been super hot here too. It was about the same. I don't think it's been that hot. Let me look. Oh, yeah, to know today's 91. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, I just looked at the rest of the week here. Today's 91. Tomorrow's going to be the warm day, or the cool day, at 89. Monday's 96. Tuesday's 97. Ugh. I'm not looking forward to that at all. Yeah, that's going to be rough. But on the upside, I can go set some concrete blocks out in the sun, and I can make breakfast out on the Out on the concrete, just crack an egg right on that. It'll be hot enough. Oh, it's going to be 91 degrees. I was going to try to mow this afternoon. I don't think that's going to happen. But I do have the doors and stuff off the Jeep, and I was going to try to get the top off this weekend. So that's a good, that might be a thing to do. That might be the play. We'll say void. Let's see. So I'm going to publish a message. It's going to just be string. And then I want to, let me think about this. So I want it to sit here. Client provides an async oriented consumer to dispatch. The dispatcher can only be used with async consumers. So there is, okay, yeah, this is the consumer tag. This consumer copy or deserialize the payload, process the message, and then acknowledge it. I think that's how I want to manage it. This consumer tag identifies a subscription when it has been canceled. Because how does this one work here? No messages available. Actually, I don't know if it doesn't make any difference to have the consumer. Because right now the consumer isn't even going to be a .NET app. Right now it's Python. So I don't even really need to do this. So I'm not even going to put it in. So maybe I'm still overcomplicating it by having a message. No, because I want to have the interface in case I change the messaging thing. All right, let's see. So I've got the message processor. I'm going to, really, I'm going to do just the basic process or basic publishing. Let's see. Do I put it in there? It's not really data. I'm actually gonna just put it here. I know, probably not the best place, but alright, this is gonna implement iMessage processor. Oh, that didn't work. Crap. Oh, I hit the wrong button. There we go. Ah, I did it. I know things. Let's see. I need to import the NuGet package. I'm gonna have to deal with creating the queue if it doesn't exist. I don't know how I want to do that yet. Because that's really an implementation. I'm gonna have that just baked into the class. I'm not gonna worry too much. I'm not gonna overthink that. Okay, here we go. So we'll start by When I create it, we'll create the message processor. What do we need to pass in? I'm gonna need, let's start up here. String. I'm gonna need username. I'm gonna need password. I'm gonna need the queue name. So all I really need to know to set it up, right? No, I need to know the host name. Right. So username, password. Oh, virtual host and host name. And host name, which in this case is, yeah. Okay. I'll forget to correct the name on my interface. What? Oh, you're right. Thank you. I'm glad you saw that because I never would have known. Spell check. Spell check in .NET needs to be there. If someone could write a spell checker for that, like to be able to identify that that was spelled wrong inside of that name, would be amazing. Writer? Is that legitimately a thing? JetBrains writer. So does it actually do that? Am I going to be switching over to... Oh my god. Am I going to be switching over to JetBrains? What's the spell check? Oh my god, integrated spell checking. Seriously? Yeah, it says right there, integrated spell checking. Oh man. Oh man. Also says that it's in ReSharper too. All .NET tools, ReSharper, C++, JetBrains, Writer, all included in one pack. It's only $169. What are the... Whoa. It does find the type. Oh no. I may be changing. That's cool. Oh man. Oh man. Oh, I tried to move this over and I clicked on it. What did I do? Nope, nope. Nope, that's not the right page. That opened in a new window. Yep, integrated spell checking. Oh my goodness. Do you know how many times I would have saved my bacon at work? Holy cow. For spell checking errors identified in comments. I mean, I've got apps that literally have database tables that are spelled wrong because I either... Or column names. I guess the tables aren't necessarily spelled wrong because I use like Entity Framework. What's the one that kills me? I have an app that does stuff with scheduling. And it's called Schedule Impact. So there's a field called Schedule Impact ID, and it's not spelled right. There's no H in schedule, so it's SCED, and it's like, oh man, I didn't realize it until very long into the project, and it's still there because I didn't try to go back and fix it. Actually, that's not even Entity Framework. That's just Kyle being dumb. But either way, yeah, it's like, ah. Spell checker. Ooh, was a free option. Oh, this might be get your hand. Problem is it's like I maybe switch over and just use JetBrains at work, but I literally just got my Visual Studio subscription renewed. I'm sure they'll have a cow if they say, oh, I want to switch to something that's not Visual Studio. But it's way cheaper than Visual Studio. Granted, I get more than just Visual Studio with my thing, but oh, I am going to snag that. Let's copy that. Let's put it in here and let's look at it. 404 page not found. What? Did I copy it wrong? Oh no, I did copy it wrong. Oh, look at that. Visual Studio spell checker. Huh. I'm not going to load it now because I'm afraid it'll break something, but I like that. I like the JetBrains one. Oh man, I might end up being a JetBrains person now. It's like switching browsers. It feels dirty, doesn't it? When you're trying to transition from something you've used forever. I had a buddy that was trying to switch from had switched to Chrome from Opera. And I always give him crap because he's an Opera user and he takes it pretty personal, but something wasn't working right. Yeah, I found that if like I'm gonna do it, if I decide it's something to do, I have to just like go all in and just start doing it. Otherwise, it'll be that like half and half thing. I had that problem with even just different versions of Visual Studio. Like I have some projects that I need an old version of Visual Studio. Right, yeah, and so I've decided to cut everything over. But yeah, you're right. Once you get moved over, it does feel different. I'll have to check it out. That'll be probably be a thing. All right, I think I'm gonna take a quick break and go get some more coffee before I get into this because I want some fresh coffee. So I will be right back. All right, got some fresh coffee. Haven't even tried to take a drink of it yet. Yep, it's hot. Holy cow. I think my coffee pot is making the coffee a little too hot. Okay. Okay. Oh, I went too fast. All right, so that sets up all of the variables. Let's see, I need to have the client. What is that? Connection factory. Looks like the one I really care about is the, I need to have the channel. And the connection, yeah. So I need to start off with I connection, and I model, and I'm gonna call this channel. Are those the only things I need? I think so. Okay. Which one do I like better? Do I like the connection factory? I think I do. I just like the look of that better. So, connection factory. New connection factory. Guest by default. Limited to local host connections. Yeah. Whoops. .username. Factory. .password. Host name. I wonder if I even need to track that outside of any of this stuff, since I've got all of that. And then connection is equal to factory.create connection. Get rid of that extra space. It's possible to specify a list of endpoints. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. And then I'll say channel is equal to connection.create model. And then I need to have public. Nope. That's right, isn't it? That's the right syntax. Yeah. Not dispose. Close. Channel.close. Alright, what's wrong with this? Oh, can't be public. I knew that. Alright. So that sets everything up. I probably don't need most of these anymore. Oh, uh-oh. Severe isolated thunderstorms in my area. What? It's gonna be like molten outside. And my Jeep has the doors off of it. Again. Oh, yeah, no, there's storms in the area. Huh. Unless it's gonna develop over top of me, I don't think it's a problem. But yeah, neighboring counties have severe weather alerts right now. Except I can't get any. Oh no, never mind. That's moderate air quality. Maybe that's why I'm so congested. Around us has moderate air quality conditions. All right, let's do publish message. To post message to an exchange. Use the oh, hang on. I need to create. Nope. Work with exchanges and queues. The high-level building blocks protocol. Channel.exchange declare. Oh, I don't remember. I think I want them to be exchanges. Is that what I want? So with exchanges and queues. I think I only need it to be a queue. I don't need it to be. I don't think I need anything more sophisticated than that. Okay, so we will declare the queue. And it's going to be queue name, false, 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 null. And now we'll say publish a message. And I'll do that here. Channel dot basic publish. So it does need to be in bytes, which is fine. Oh, see, that one does use an exchange, so maybe I do need to publish a message to an exchange. Yeah, I think that's what I need to do. So let's go back to that. Make sure I do this right. So to continue with the previous example, the following code declares an exchange and a queue and then binds them together. Oh, okay. This is different than the way I've done it. I used to have, the way I remember doing it is you declare an exchange. How does that work? And it would, you can tell it when you declare it, it would give you the queue name. And so it was always different. All right, so we will say channel dot. Yeah, I struggled with it, and then I sat in a conference. We had some one day or 2 day training. Yeah, and I sat with some training with some guy who did it a lot, and we worked through some of the stuff, and so once I got it, it's like, oh yeah, it's simple. it is, but it's not. They've changed a lot when they went from one version to I think it was when they went from 5 to 6 or 6 to, I feel like it's got to be 5 to 6. Maybe I'm running 5 at work, and they changed it. But yeah, it's one of those. It's like everything else. You gotta play with it before you figure it out entirely. Exchange declare, and then I'm gonna call my exchange name is actually gonna be Q, or no. Q name dash exchange, and then we'll make it exchange type. Let's see, this one just needs to be direct. I don't need it to be anything crazy. And then channel dot q bind, and it's going to be queue name. This part again, actually we'll just declare it up here. Oh, see, that's an advantage that I have, is we have a significant training budget. Because actually just the other day I got signed up for 4 classes before the end of the year. Because, so, I mean, our training budget is small. Like, so our department has, it just grew. It's right about 20 people, ballpark. And we normally have, like, I'm going to say, how do I want to say? We normally have like a $15,000 to $20,000 training budget, which is small for a group of 20 people, especially when some of these classes are like $5,000 a piece. However, our 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 department is really, we're always under budget. And the way it works for our budgeting is when we get to the end of the year, it's use it or lose it. And if we don't use it, our budget for next year gets shrunk. They'll just cut off that difference or some percentage of it. So we always try to get right at that number. So we have a training, we use New Horizons training. And at the end of the year, we can actually buy training credits for the next year. So last year we bought, oh man, we bought like $70,000 in credits. So I was talking to my supervisor last week and he's like, hey, I asked him, I'm like, well, where are we sitting? He's like, oh, we've got a ton of money for training. And so I signed up for, it was 4 or 5 classes. I mean, $7,000 in training just by the end of the year. So I'm pretty excited about that, that I work for a company that doesn't skimp out too often on training. We have had rough years. It happens. But you know, I'm SANS certified. I have my GIAC certification for security essentials. And that requires I have to go take at least some kind of a security training. I typically take it from SANS, and those things are like $7,000 a class. And yeah, so I'm lucky in the sense that's a thing. And the training that I'm taking for the balance of the year, none of it really directly relates to what I'm working on today. Some of it is just like ancillary type training. Like I'm taking some AI training because we're getting into the world of AI, and it's really how can we utilize, it's not even AI, it's machine learning. How can we utilize machine learning? Because we've had a lot of those products and those proposals come. So I'm taking something for that. I'm taking like DevOps project manager or something like that. I don't remember what it is. Something like that. But yeah, it is really nice. I really enjoy it. The problem is I haven't had time at all this year to take any training. Like up until I take my first class starts to Monday, and I'm like, up until then, I haven't had time this year. And I got to participate in the Cyber Tatanka event, which is actually a 2-week event, which is training and then the range week. I was able to sit through 2 classes or 1 class for 2 days and then spend a whole week at that, you know, whatever you want to call it. What do you call those things? It's like a red team, blue team type event, except this time there was no red team. So yeah, it is nice. I'm glad that, you know, they see the value of going to training. I guess, you know, if you want to find an employer that wants to do it, you can come work for MPPD. I believe we're hiring. You have to move to Nebraska. Well, actually, I don't even know if you have to move to Nebraska anymore. Depends on where you pick the job. If you don't work at the nuclear plant, I think you could get away 100% without coming to Nebraska, because we have some people that work out of state. Can do the shameless plug for the open careers. Careers, here we go. Join to view the open jobs. Oh, there's a lot. Holy cow. Let's see. Which one would be tractor operator, risk insurance, FMLA, worker compensation? Oh, we don't have any. We have like 5 open positions. How is there not any IT developer type positions? Delivery engine. Oh, that's transmission. All right, sorry, I lied. Unless you want to be an engineer. I don't even know what a lines and subs engineer does. Yeah, I feel like I swear there are like 3 open developer positions at the district for sure. I absolutely thought there was. We just filled a cybersecurity position in our group, and I feel like they're hiring one for one of our guys that's putting in a retirement. Maybe they closed it already, but it's a lot of .NET development. But it is at the nuclear plant, so that one would require it. Oh, right. Yep. No, I get that. That is a bit of a struggle. We haven't come to that yet where I work because cloud is so new to us, and I don't even know who takes care of. Well, I know who takes care of some of our cloud environments. We don't have our architects. We don't have like a cloud architect, if that makes sense. So I'm the nuclear architect. We have a networking architect, so like telecommunications networking. We have a business applications architect, which is really more business interfaces. We have an infrastructure architect, which is like cybersecurity and server administrations. There's another one. Who am I missing? Oh, we have no, the applications architect is not the interfaces. We have an architect interface. I don't know what his an interface architect. I don't know what his title is, but none of us have cloud experience, which is, I guess, different. But us as architects are less developers, but I do totally get the pay cut thing, because I have my brother-in-law used to work for Amazon, and he works for Oculus now. And at one time he was trying to get me to come work at Amazon in Seattle or in Washington. And I'm like, I would not be opposed to switching jobs. I said, the problem is the pay difference. Like what I get paid where I work in Nebraska versus what it costs to live in Nebraska, like that pay difference, that differential needs to be the same. Like, I need to go up at least as much in pay to make up for the cost of living for where I moved to. So if I were to take a pay cut, it's like the cost of living has to go down from where I live here. Like I don't want to change my lifestyle for the job necessarily if I can help it. Not saying I don't need to change my lifestyle, because in some cases some things I do, but for the purpose of like living and spending money, I kind of like where I sit. It's what I want to say, nice, simply because we're not struggling, I guess, in any way. Okay. Oh yeah. The working remote is really nice. I know that most of MPPD, at least in the IT space, almost all of them are remote at most of the time. My neighbor across the street, he moved to the general office. He took a supervisor position over there, and he is remote 4 days of the week. He does go in the office 1 day a week. That's when we do like a lot of our face-to-face meetings for some of those stuffs, like Wednesday. But I think that's common throughout the entire district in the IT spaces. Everybody works from home most of the time. Some people work remote 100%. I know down at the power plant, I have to go into work 2 days a week. I don't have to, but I'm an exception that I only get to go twice a week. Most people are remote only 1 day a week because we're nuclear and we like to live in the past. And our management truly believes that people coming into the plant makes them more productive, which is the opposite for an IT person that's very busy and gets interrupted all the time. Working remote is my productive days. But I'm actually to the point in my career, those 2 days I'm on site are days of meetings. Like I have 2 days full of meetings most days, or some form of interacting with people, team management type stuff. So I wish it was remote all the time. But then I'd have to have a much more rigorous work from home routine, like, to do it. I mean, what I have is pretty good, but it does kind of there is no structure to it. I mean, for the most part, other than I plan what I'm going to work on, and that's how I do it. But I don't plan like I don't get dressed. I don't like my friend across the street. Like, he gets up and he gets dressed like he's going to work every day when he works remote, and he needs that structure to keep moving. I could be out here in sweatpants and a t-shirt and work all day, but I feel, I don't know, so I just don't feel right at the end of the day, I guess, if that makes sense. So I need a little bit of structure. So like for my work day, I get up at 4:30, I start work at 5, and then I'm like, hey, here's what I need to do. I plan my day out, like, here's what I'm gonna work on. Oh yeah, do the whole get dressed for work thing. Yeah, right, it is. It's all about focus, and that's what my morning routine is. It's like, while my coffee's brewing, I'm sitting there with a notebook. You know, I just sit at the dining room table, or I even just stand in my kitchen, and I'm like, all right, here's what I'm doing today, and I make a list. And during COVID, when we all switched remote, I had little kids at home, so like working throughout the entire day didn't work. I had to be more flexible. And so I've kind of switched to the mentality of, it's not how many hours I work, it's what I get done in those hours. And so I got to the point where it was like a list of seven things, 2 to 3 big things, 3 to 4 smaller things, like, to get done. And then if I knock through them, then that could essentially be my day, unless I knock through them in like an hour, which has happened. I've had days where big projects turns out to not be big projects. And that's made a huge difference in my telecommute work. I wish I could adopt that to when I'm going into the office. I haven't made that switch, that transition, to make it useful, but it's like the 5 to 7 items on my to-do list really helps. And I do it first thing in the morning. I'm getting up, I'm waiting for the coffee to brew, and I'm kind of like getting in that mindset. I have a really nice setup in my office because I have my personal computer, I have my laptop, and they use the same screens, keyboard, mouse. I have them on a switch. So when I work, it's like my home computer's off, all my stuff, all my distractions are gone for the most part. So it's kind of nice, but yeah, there have been times when I kind of wish maybe I should start working half an hour later and just get going back through the morning routine. Because like the week before, when I was doing the Cyber Tatanka, getting up and getting dressed and leaving the house at 5:30 in the morning, that was hard. Like, I couldn't. I had a hard time because all through the school year, I would get up at 5, and then I'd work for a couple hours, and then when the kids got up, I would make them breakfast, and while they're eating, then I would go get ready for the day. That's when I would go get dressed, and I'd shower. And I kind of gotten into that routine. Like, I don't have the drive, or it's not even really drive, just like the urgency to get done quickly in the morning. Oh, you leave your dev PC on and watch Twitch? Yeah, okay. Yeah, the documenting, right. Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, at least you have your streams to do something productive. See, I don't have that problem, luckily. Most of the time, I am pretty much 100% going all the time. I actually have the problem of burnout at work because there's so much going on, especially like on a Monday. I think this last Monday, man, I think I probably worked 6 hours straight, just rapid fire issues coming up. We're getting ready for a refueling outage, so there's lots of stuff coming in, and Right, I need better underlings at work. I absolutely do. My underlings are not great. But yeah, it's like 6 hours straight of like dealing with emails and somewhat emergent type items, and then come like lunchtime, I'm like, I'm done. Like, I'm physically tired and I don't want to think anymore. Exchange name. What? Oh, I don't have. Oh. Let's go string. Exchange name. There it is. But yeah, having better underlings would definitely help too. My routing key is just empty. No properties. And the value. Oops, hang on. So it is bytes. Okay, so I've got to take the message and convert it to bytes, a byte array. I'm not familiar. I'm not used to. I'm used to it being just straight text. Body text.encoding.utf. Oops, nope. Encoding. Get bytes. Message. Body. And there. Boom. So now that'll send the message. And when I run it, I should see... I'll see the exchange here. And the queue. Well, I have no queues. All right, that makes sense. Let's go back to the dark page. There we go. Okay, so that'll publish the message. I don't really care about reading the message right now. Let's change all of these. Oh, that's what I want. There we go. I like string.empty better. I don't know why. Just a style thing. I am using Visual Studio 2022. Visual Studio 2022, 64 bits. All 64s of the bits. All right. So now... I did change and get rid of the Blazor project because that was sucking the life out of me. Let's see. I can't remember if it's what I have built anymore. Because as much as I love the concept of Blazor, I just can't do it. I just can't. I hate it. It's killing me. It does absolutely suck the life from me. This isn't gonna load, and I think it's because I don't have my database running. Yep, no database. Yeah, don't restart. Yeah, that's right. All right, I gotta start up another one. I was running that in Docker too, but I don't have... I don't have it saved, do I? Nope. Or do I? That's Elastic MQ. Oh, that's what I was doing. cybersecurity testing. All right, there's got to be a faster way. How do I view my PowerShell history? History. All right, get PS, read line option, history save path. There it is. Don't think I got it. Don't think I got it. Can't. There we go. Let's look for SQL. Oh, some of this is really old. What was it? MCR. .Microsoft. Oh, okay. Well, that's it. It just doesn't run it. Cool. Okay. Docker deploy SQL Server containers. It's got some weird parameters, I know that. Oh, that's not right. All right, so we'll do it from this one. So it's docker run -e accept EULA y -e MSSQL SA password equal to SA password bang 1. Port 1433, we'll salt name, SQL1. I don't really need host name, but. And I want to make it -rm, so it goes away every time. Copy it just in case. Ooh, what? No. Are you kidding me? Did I just delete it? I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Okay, let's try. Can I make this happen? I'm gonna write it in Notepad first this time. SA password bang 1. Let's see. Docker run requires at least one argument. Oh, I didn't actually include them. Ha. This is the server name, mcr.microsoft.com/mssql server 2022. I'll just do this. I'll always get the latest. Downloading. SQL Server 22 will run us. Oh, okay, it is running. Oh, the coffee burns. It burns so much. All right. Do I have the app updating the database when it runs? I don't remember. Doesn't look like it. Add razor pages, entity framework. Okay. EF database update. It is update. All right, now it's gonna run. Yeah, and I have no actions. That's fine. Create one. Okay. Let's think. Well, let's just test one. We'll create one. We'll just create my reset Trello. Trello, and it is active. So now I have it on the home page with a button that says Run Automation. Okay, let's look at that. On. Change that song up. I don't think the button's doing anything yet. No, I get all the active automations, so if I click it, nothing happens, right? Right. Reset Trello, run automation. Yeah, okay. Full screen. Oh yeah, because it doesn't even have any kind of a thing. So let's see, I need to make sure that when I click each button, I know exactly which automation it is, right? So I could do it here. How does this layout work? I don't remember, because I don't have this. Oh, I do have some code here, but I have it there. So if I create a function here, that's the code. So if I say public void, I'm gonna say button click, and I'm gonna send string, and it's gonna be action. We'll start with that. And I equal, oops, is equal to 0, put a breakpoint. So if I do that, and then I put on the button, it's gonna be, what is it, on click. It's just called, I just called it button click, right? It's gotta be an @ sign. Is it? Button click. Bugger. Because on another page that I've looked at before, it is just button click. And here I would pass in the model item. No. Automation. automation dot action keyword. Is that gonna build? I don't know if it's gonna build. Hey, build. Let's try. Let's try. Let's try it. Yeah, it didn't do it because I think it's trying to run JavaScript. I mean, I could put it in the... I don't want to put it on the page, though. All right, let's... ASP.NET for Razor page. Execute post on a button click. Looks like I've looked this up before. So that's on the page. Yeah, that's right. I have to do this handler stuff. That's what it is. They really have. It has gotten insane. And I get it. They're trying to stick with how things are changing. No, there isn't. And it really comes down to you try one and figure out that it's not what you want and then try something else. And it's, I mean, some of it's all right. Like I have done a lot of MVC apps in the old .NET framework. And I love the concept. I love the pattern. I love how it works, but I didn't love how massive those projects were for a simple app. And so that's where I kind of like the Razor pages. It's like, oh, those are somewhat faster, but it's kind of like a blend of all the different ways things work. So it's like, I just gotta get it to go. Does it work? Well, kind of. Sorta. Okay, so it's handler button. And then on post print. You know, text center. Yep. Right. I know that one. I know how to make the text centered. Let's see. So how do I pass in? How do I pass? Can I generalize it on post print? Because I don't want to have a method for each freaking automation to run. It's not ASP, so you want to execute a C#. Yeah, you're right. I get it. Action result, get message. So yeah, do some JavaScript. I could do that. Ugh, I get so anxious when I see somebody say like, use jQuery, because it just feels old. Yeah. ASP, okay, I want to look at the ASP page handler. I think that's the way to go. Page handler with parameter. That's really what I want. Parameterized page handler. Delete transaction. So there's a value. Log ID. So the function is called delete transaction. With the name of log ID and take its value. Name log ID. Okay, that might actually work. Okay, so let's try it. Let's just try it. Let's try it. So we're gonna say, I'm gonna call it run automation. So I save it, go to the index page. I'm going to create at hidden HTML.hidden. I guess I don't need to make it an actual, I don't need to use that tag. I can just use input. Type is equal to hidden. Name is going to be equal to automation. Oh, morning, kiddo. All right. RKOM. Action keyword. That's what I need it to be. And oh wait, no. That's the value. This is the value. The name is now action keyword. Why is this? I thought I unpinned it. There we go. And so now I have, get rid of this crap. Input, type, submit. I'll put it at the end. ASP page handler is that. Run automation. Name is action keyword. And then I have a value here associated with it. And this is value. Run automation. Ooh, that's cool. I duplicated the row. Didn't want to do that. All right, build. I really wish this page would stop coming over there. Uh-oh, I got an extra quote somewhere. Didn't work. And it didn't work because I don't have it in a form. Maybe. If you want to use the button method, you can simply create an ASP button that indicates its handler method. Oh. I actually like that layout better. So it's gonna be here. It's gonna be this. Form. Yeah, form, method, post, and ASP page handler. This is where I want it to be. Button. Tabs. And then this is a button. And I don't need to have this anymore. I don't think, do I? No, hang on, hold up. Because this is a little bit different because I'm generalizing it. Okay, so say your model contains 2 items. So I still need to have it inside of a form. Ugh. I miss the days when I could just double click on it and Visual Studio would figure out what I needed, but that made me a lazy programmer. All right, one more time. Actually, it's gonna be like 10 more times, let's be honest. So it did the handler run automation. Yeah, a bit of laziness is slightly allowed. Yeah, I guess that's true. There is some things that it's okay. All right, I think I just named my, yeah, it's on post. I think that'll fix it. There it is. Look at that. My action is null though. Poop. So let's go look at that code. What's it doing? Action keyword. All right, so something, I misread this somehow. Let's see. This one. Okay, you click on delete on the second row. Now the page handler method will look for an HTML element with the name log ID and take its value. But there are 2 elements with the name log ID. The handler goes through your DOM line by line until it discovers that it has found what it's looking for. The first element is log ID. Great, now because I'm looking, it has found the value, which returns the action. That's why your code doesn't work and why it's returning the first value it finds. Because it isn't aware that there's actually more items named log ID. And removing the hidden input worked. Oh, there's an ASP route log ID. Okay, let's check that. ASP route. So instead I'll say ASP route keyword maybe, and then I'll say at automation dot action keyword. See what that does. Oh, because I didn't call it the right thing. Well, let's run it. Okay, so it gets the keyword up here. I just didn't name it right. I need to name. I'm gonna call it action keyword here. And run it there, and we'll restart it. Yes. Yes. It's gonna work this time. Run. Action keyword, reset Trello. Yeah, it works. All right. That always feels good when something I don't fully understand just starts working. And then after it does, I'm like, I kind of get it now. All right, so I need that. I need this. I don't need, we'll just call this action. So I got the form, method post. I actually don't need that anymore. So now in here, let's do some things. Let's get rid of that. Private read only I message processor. And then we'll pass in the message processor here. So in this case, I'm going to say my action keyword is really all I'm going to send. So message processor dot publish message action keyword. There we go. Now that's going to cause some build errors, right? Because I have to. Oh, it actually didn't. I kind of expected it to bomb right there. Because I expected there to be, because where do I create the logger? So I get the connection string, I add the DB context. Okay, let's look at app settings. I must have that all abstracted away because I would have expected to see it here. Yeah, use routing, use static files, use HTTPS redirect. Huh. Collection of configuration item provided by the application to compose. This is useful for adding new configuration service providers. Huh. Uh-oh. Why is it red now? Oh. 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 What did I do? Alright, oh, that's gonna puke. I know that's gonna puke. Why did I hit run? I just wanted to hit build. Okay, so I need to... Let's go here. Let's say builder dot configuration dot so I want to say get value. The type to convert the value to type dot, what is that? I just want it to be a string. Yeah. Value. Oh, get value. I say type of is that valid? And then I say that? That's not right. Yeah, I don't understand why my brain isn't functioning on this one. ASP.NET Core, builder, configuration, get value. Boilerplate usage on this. So I don't want to do it in the controller though. So it's just config, get value. Okay, yeah, that's how I'm supposed to do it. So it'd be get value, string, and then that's the property. Okay, there it is. Let's add those to the configuration file then. We're going to just put them right here. So here, username. Oh, that's not what I want. Ooh, pork butts on and your breakfast crunch wraps. Nice. I'm gonna have to try the crunch wraps on the smoker. That sounds really good. All right, so we'll say username. What did I create the username as? User. Password is password. Queue name. I don't have one yet, so I'm gonna call it automations. I defined the virtual host, right? My VHOS. Host name is localhost, and I'm not doing an exchange name. Okay, so now I've got to pull in all of those. Let's see here. Is it builder dot? Is it builder or is it app? Where do I add my dependencies? Services, builder dot services. What is happening? Oh. Builder.services.add. Is that how I do it? I gotta look it up. I don't remember. ASP.NET Core dependency injection. We'll just start with that. It's services.add scoped. That's what it is. Ah, got it. Then I say add scoped. But I need to do it with parameters. Builder.services.add scoped with parameters. I've done this a lot. You'd think I would remember. So I add scoped. I message processor. And then I go like this. Then I say X. New RabbitMQ message processor. And no, not connection string. What is happening? What's happening to me here? Host name, vhost name, QUE name, username, password. I'm glad it's just going to town on me here. All right, let's see. So I've got host name, vhost, q, username, password. QUE name, vhost name, host name. Oh, don't want that. Yeah, let's start with lowercase. Host name, vhost, qname, password, username. So I got a host name, vhost, qname, username. Maybe null. Is there a now what is happening? Why are things this way? builder configuration get required value. I feel like there's a way to make it fail if it's not there. This is what I was just on. Cool. Configuration.get I swear there's like a get required. Get required section. Hang on. Gets a configuration subsection with a specified key. All right, well we'll stick with that for now. Does it run? Should-ish. It didn't. No rabbit client exception broker. None of the specified endpoints were reachable. Access refused. Login was refused using authentication method plain. Oh, username doesn't have anything. What? What are some of these values? Queue is automations. Virtual host is that. Local host. My username is wrong. I'll call it rabbit user. There must be another setting, I guess. Rabbit username. And let's double check and make sure. My vhost. Okay. All right. What on earth? Host vhost q username password. Host name, virtual host, queue name, username, password. All right, let's start there. Let's break it down. Host name, localhost, vhost, correct. User, password. All right. So now let's go to my message processor. Let's come to where I get to that. Localhost, my vhost, automations, user, password. Okay, that looks good. Host name, localhost, my virtual host, automations. Oh. Oh, well that's because my code's broken. It's dumb. Yeah, vhost is actually vhost name. Username is equal to username. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I already have this one on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Username, password, Q, host name. There we go. Let's just see if it runs. Hey, it loaded. Okay. So I hit run the automation. Oh, look, there's an automation and there's one item in the queue. Yeah. Let's get that message. Reset Trello. Yeah, it worked. Hot dog. All right, did it re-queue it? I think it did. All right, let's just leave it there. Let's leave it there. Still one in the queue. That's what I want. Okay, awesome. So when I publish a message, I probably should display some sort of message and reload the original page. Not gonna mess with that right now. So now I'm trying to think of, I'm going to have to go back to, it's in scripts, isn't it? Scripts. Let's just open this up. See what this one looks like. Now I need to take my personal automations code, and instead of me passing the arguments, it's going to get them from the queue. Close all of these. And so now let's think about this. So now inside of main, instead of displaying help, all right, let's pull up RabbitMQ Python example. I think it's work queues is the one I want. Okay, so I gotta get the RabbitMQ libraries. I get that. Import Pika connection, Pika blocking connection. Putting it all together. This is what I want to see. Okay, so receive. RabbitMQ. Read from exchange. Example. Do you remember previously we were using queues that had specific names? So here, yeah, I say declare queue. put this one all together. So this one here, connection, blocking connection to localhost, get a channel. I declare the exchange. I say it's direct. Then I declare the queue. And then I get it, and then I bind those together. Yeah, this is exactly what I need right here. All right, let's start with... Oh, I actually upped it twice. Pip install Pika. All right, there we go. All right, on this one, let us import Pika. Let's see. What's the default? Is it case else? Is that Python? How do you do default case in Python? It's just, no. Or match. Okay, so it's case underscore. So we'll say logger unknown action. Actually, we're just going to print that. We're going to print it. Action. We'll just leave it at that. Unknown action. So all of this is gonna go just like this. I'm gonna get rid of all of this. I'm gonna say def run action param. And then this is going to actually be param.lower. Like that. So now we'll come back here, and this is where we'll do the receive log stuff. So we're going to say connection is equal to Pika.blocking connection. Pika dot connection parameters host is equal to why the mix is because I started doing all of this in Python and I was running it manually, but then I decided I wanted to be able to trigger it on the web, and I did not want to write in a web framework that I wasn't very comfortable with. So right now the automations are all running in Python. The Python started off mostly as like a learning experiment because I'm trying to use more Python for stuff. So that's really why it's kind of it's creeping along. Now, eventually it might change. But for right now, it's not. So no real good reason. I don't remember what I called it. Direct channel.qe declare. We're just gonna do this for right now. Same thing. Def callback ch method properties body. Actually, I'm gonna say run action body channel dot basic consume on message callback auto act. Yeah, we'll have it auto acknowledge because if it doesn't work, I don't care. And channel dot start consuming. So now let's look at Python personal automation. I think and I also, when I started with Python, I had intended for the automation to run on my hosted web server, which I don't have full access to, and I can run Python. And I can't run .NET. However, now that I realize that I have a VPS that I can run it on, it doesn't matter what the language is, I can do whatever. But I'm kind of enjoying writing Python. It's actually a little bit of fun. Oh yeah, because it doesn't. Yeah, because I don't have any. I'm not ready to do this, idiot. No. Okay, so let's start. We'll start by saying exchange name. And I've got to put in. I got to put in authentication too. Where did I do that? Here. I do that in the connection factory. So when I create the connection, so in this case, it's yeah, connection here. Oh, that is like the ugliest autocomplete I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, so first let's go and let's create these variables. I should have this all go to a config file too, but I don't. My VHOS. I've got the host. I already said local host. I'll put it here though. User password. There we go. Host. Virtual host. Oh, it's funny how I called them all the same. No, I don't think that's right. Well, maybe it is. What is credentials? I don't know what it's supposed to be. Pika, create connection with credentials. So it is plain credentials. Blocking connection. Okay, so I've got host. Nope. Connection. Oh, connection parameters. There's a connection parameters. So there's virtual host, there's credentials. So yeah, virtual host is right. And then it is credentials, and it's authentication credentials, plain credentials. Pika dot credentials dot plain credentials. Username is going to be equal to username, password. Oops, is password. There. Is that valid? That looks messy as all get up. Well, it connected. Queues and streams. So it's connected to that one. Exchanges. Okay, so I think I know what the problem is. There we go, killed it. I do still need a queue name. Queue name. What is it? Capital? What do I call it? Lowercase. Lowercase. Don't need this anymore. Cannot obtain exclusive access to locked queue automations because it cannot be originally declared, or another connection is, or the exclusive property value does not match. Okay, so that's what I thought. Well, let's make it exclusive is equal to false. So that worked. That gave me an unknown action. Let's see. Let's go automation actions. Let's edit this one. Change it to that so it matches. And now let's go back home and hit it. Oh, it still says unknown action. So we're gonna say print new action param. My guess is it's not formatted correctly. Reset Trello, but why is it B? .str. Oh, well, didn't like that, did it? All right, well, let's not do that then. What is the B in front? Is that? I'm sure that tells me like what it is. Python B in oh, it's bytes. How to convert it? Okay, it's a byte string, so I need to say how to convert bytes to a string. Byte string.decode. So we'll say byte string. Oh wait, hang on. I can use the decode method. Oh, there we go. So I just need to say dot decode UTF-8. Come on, kill it. There we go. So now it's new action is reset Trello, and it was an unknown action. Oh, because it's Trello reset. Aha! Let's edit. Save. And now let's bring this up over here and we'll run it. New action. Trello reset. It's resetting. It's resetting my Trello board. Yeah, right. It definitely needs a confirmation. That's what I was just thinking. I'm like, I don't know when it's done. Well, actually I do. I can go look at the logs. Source scripts. So there is a log. There's a log. There it is. So this is today. So there we go. So it still doesn't tell, it actually still doesn't tell me that it's done. So yeah, so for the purpose of this one, I'm going to say logger.info Trello reset complete. And I'm going to print. So we'll do this, we'll bring it up, and now I'm gonna really make the clutter on the page go nuts because I'm gonna bring up the Trello board too. So we're gonna move some of these things over, check the boxes, check a couple of the boxes. And now we'll come here and I can run it. There we go. So they're moving. And the Trello reset's complete. That works. And now, now I want to go the other way because I have the ability to log it to my database so I can see the log history. So instead of writing to a file, I'll write it back to the database. But I don't need to do that for now. That's not as important. So it works. That's good. Now, yeah, it is progress. So now I have something that I can click and run. Oh, what do I need to do now? I need to polish it up a little bit. I need to probably create my login stuff so I can move over. I need to connect to my VPS and make sure that it's still running. I might have it turned off and get it patched and get it configured so I can host both the web app, the Python app, and RabbitMQ. I'm going to throw them all in the same system. And then I think, yeah, we're looking pretty good. Then I need to do documentation, the part that everyone hates, right? Write the docs. That's the next step. And do a lot of code cleanup. But I think, let's see. I don't need this code anymore for sure. Let's see. Excuse me. I was like, okay, how is it different pages? Yeah, import Trello automation there. So yeah, this is just the switchboard for it. Okay. See, I do need to write some documentation because I don't even remember what all this is. So So I think instead of, I'm thinking about this page when it publishes the message, how I want that to how I want it to handle it, and I think I don't know yet, because I still have one more bit of a wrinkle to create. Is if I create a new automation, I'm going to call it my coffee spreadsheet. Coffee sheet, and it's going to be, we'll call it coffee, whatever. And I say it's active. And I got coffee spreadsheet, and I go details. I know it's 2. I know that doesn't work, so it's 2. And I want to create parameters. So the next bit is I'm going to pass actions and parameters. So just publishing a message with an action keyword isn't necessarily the end of it. For the Reset Trello, it is just that. Now this is where I get into some of my classes where I have automation message payload. I need to create this and pass that, because I'm going to serialize this, and then I'll have the action text and then a list of all the parameters. So that's the next hurdle. I've got the communications in place. Now I can enhance that communication instead of sending. This is not going to change. My publish message is still going to take that body, convert it to bytes, but it's going to be a JSON array. So what I'll do first is close this one. And now I'm going to have a payload with, yeah, so now I'm going to have, okay, my brain's here, don't worry. So it takes an action and it takes a list of parameters. So how do I know what those are? I think I have to pull those from the database because I have the action ID. Okay, that's not a problem because I already have the data context here. So, I know what that action keyword is. So we'll say var action is equal to context dot automation actions, where a dot action keyword is equal to action keyword, first or default. And then if it's not null, then I will say var parameters is equal to context dot action parameters dot where p action ID is equal to action dot ID to list. So that list could be nothing. That's legitimate. So now I'm going to say automation message payload is equal to and it's going to be action is equal to action. Parameters is equal to I want this to be lowercase. Parameters. Actually, I want this all to be inside of this. All right. The message payload needs to have a function here that compresses itself to a string. using Newtonsoft JSON. Then I'll have a public string do I want this to be inside here? Because I want that payload to be one string object. I don't think I want the object to be able to stringify itself, because that doesn't make sense. I can do it here though. Probably it's not the right place to do it, but we'll start with it. We'll start with it. Payload. No, I already have a payload, don't I? Yeah, I do. Message body is equal to JSON convert dot serialize object. Payload. And now I'm gonna send it as message body. Nope, see, typo. So let's reload that. Oh, let's stop and restart. Not reload, restart. Restart. Oh, I forgot I added that one. I was like, why is there two? Like, oh yeah, no, there's supposed to be two. Okay, so that one's running. We're gonna run this one. Okay, unknown action, as expected. All right, now to get into the fun world of Python deserialization. Deserialize JSON Python. JSON Python. Ba-da-da-da-da. So now I lowercase it, which is correct. And now I need to get, oh, what's the library? It's called JSON. Continue without supporting. Screw you. So it's load s. So now I'm going to come here and I'm going to say, I'm looking at an example. I guess I could pull it over here. So now I'm loading the data. Well, those are not useful. Using the load function, we have to deserialize a file name. That's a different one. Yeah, I don't want to do that. No, we're not doing that. Yeah, I want load S. I want to loads it. Because now I can get the ID, which is the key. So it's a dictionary. Okay, that's what I needed to know. So now we're gonna say data is gonna be equal to json.loads param. And now in this case, it's going to be data. What was it? It's actually action and action keyword. I think this is valid. Action keyword, I think. Maybe it's not. Well, let's change this back here. So how do I do nested? Python json.loads access nested object. I may have to do I have to load it twice? I don't think so. Places is a list, not a dictionary. This line below will not work. So you need to select one of the items in place. So that's a list. This one it is not. So I think that's correct. No, so the way I was doing it was right. Okay. Bring it down here so it's easier to read. So here it is, data, bracket, action, and then action keyword. We'll call it new param. We'll do it this way. This is cleaner. Because I have to use it again anyway. Oh. Oh. New param. Now, new param. There we go. So waiting on that. There it is. Bam. Got it. So there does the reset. Awesome. Now I want to change one last thing just because I need to still I'm gonna call it just new message because I still want to see the original param as it came in. So now when I run it, I can see that the parameters is an empty set. All right. So now I have, oops, no, automation actions. Coffee spreadsheet is two, and we'll call it test param 1. Oh, that doesn't work. Oh, because I was messing with that page. Never mind. All right, let's see if I can. I gotta fix the automation parameters page. Dang. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just take a note of that. It's a good time to stop. I got, I think both kids are awake now, and I actually have to go get ready to work concession stands again this morning. Which is just, you know, stupendous. So yeah, I'm going to stop here. I've got my automation up and running. I just need to really brush it up a little bit. So that will be, what day is today? It's 22nd. Yeah, that'll be tomorrow's project, tomorrow morning. Yep, tomorrow morning we will brush up the web interface, fix those parameters. Maybe start working on getting it loaded to the, oh no, I gotta get user accounts working. So user accounts and the other things, that's tomorrow's job. All right, I will call it quits then, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow morning. See everybody later.